And we are back in. No interview action after that one, unfortunately. I'm FBI Tugboat, here with my man Soy Sauce. And we got Bill down there producing away, making our jobs as casters just so much easier. And we do appreciate that. EGFC Season 2 continues now, a little spring split action. Speaking of the splits, a little bit of a split in performance for one of these squads, Soy Sauce.
Yeah, we got a matchup here between San Jose State and Marist. And for Marist, it's been another tale of two splits, but it's been the opposite of what we saw out of North Dakota. They had a fantastic fall split, 6-1, perfect MAC conference record. But since then, they have yet to win a game in this spring split, and it's gotten them back to a dead even 6-6 record.
I hear you. Tough breaks really is. Obviously, where you want a lot of these W, like if you had your choice, right? You really want W's to come out against your in-conference rivals and whatnot. But that's kind of a sticky situation to see, like, say where you want your L losses to come through. Either way, the only loss I believe was to that University of Texas Arlington squad. Am I correct?
Yeah, back in the fall, that was a loss to UTA, and obviously UTA are defending champions of the EGF right now. So, I mean, by no means a bad loss.
Yeah, truly the best in the West there, the University of Texas Arlington. Not too far away by any way, shape, or form. No wagging of the fingers here from the Tugboat. This is your San Jose Spartans, taking on the Marist Red Foxes. I always like to get the what are they called? The
Mascot.
Mascot. There you go. That's why you get co-casters like this, ladies and gentlemen. That's why you get co-casters like this. Best of 5 action coming through here, just the same. 5-minute quarters, just in case you're 5-minute games, just in case you're unfamiliar with your Rocket League format. And just to run through your stat lines from a previous game, what we just saw was DePaul University in a hard-fought slobber knocker, barn burner, knee knocker here against the North Dakota squad, another really great team from the West. They were able to take that 3-0 all the way out. DePaul University was pushing their now current record to 10-4, dropping North Dakota down from 5-8 to 5-9. That was a 0-2, 2-6, and 1-3 respectively there for your DePaul University squad. So fantastic performances there. Will we see another map 3? Only 3 maps, only the clean sweep. Are we going to see a 3-0 here, Soy?
The way this league has kind of worked, I wouldn't be shocked. But I mean, Marist, they're still searching for their first win, and San Jose State, on the other hand, this has been kind of the story for them, is that they've been able to take down teams from the MAC. I believe the past 2 weeks, they're on a 2-week win streak. They took down Canisius last week, 3-1. They're feeling good about themselves. I'm really curious to see how this one plays out.
I hear you. Maybe call them Burger King because they've been killing the Mac. I don't know. We're looking at, and just to clarify, Marist University, when Soy says their first, are trying to find their first win, he means in this current split. 6-6, that's just for this current split. Again, they have not been able, unfortunately, to find a victory through. First loss did come from a very solid UTA team in the first split, again, but let us get it going. This is San Jose State University on the left side, or helmed by DD. Got Valtex in here as well, and it's Johnny. Valtex might be playing under a new tag, but doesn't matter because he's showing up no matter who he is.
This was all San Jose State. I mean, Cypher gets dunked on by It's Johnny, and again, you talked about it. Valtex's shot placement just in off the post, and already San Jose State starting off hot.
Absolutely. Run through the good folk over there at Marist for me, man.
That is Cypher, Shane, and Z-Ball for the side of the Red Foxes, and they have been a fantastic duo so far, as Shane able to answer right back.
There you go. Happens quickly as well. Tied up now for the fastest score on stream here tonight at 13 seconds. So I will be continuing to give you guys an update on that because I think it's very interesting. 20 seconds in. On board to the middle. 50-50 won by DD in the side of San Jose. Spartans trying to get galloping out from this one, not going to happen so easily. Shane and the rest of the Marist College squad trying to get this one going on offense. Spent a little bit of time in kind of this neutral territory, I feel like. There has not been, oh my goodness, everything mailed. It's Johnny, sends this one from a different zip code.
It's Johnny here just sending this one downfield, and Shane, you can tell he realizes the second that ball gets hit, he's too far forward, and you can tell he's diving back to try and make that play, but unable to do so.
How exactly did that happen? So I'm at a little bit of a loss. It was just, it kind of seems like Marist College players are kind of lined up on one side, and if they'd simply pushed the middle, might have been able to get that. Again, kind of theory crafting at this point, breaking down the plays afterwards, and almost assuming that we kind of know what's going on inside the heads of these players. But, oh well, that's theory crafting. That's what we do here at the EGFC. 1 minute in, 3 scores on the boards, 2 for Valtex and the San Jose State University squad, 1 for the side of Marist. Z-Ball with a very aggressive, confident take across the middle. Always going to be dangerous trying to get something going like that, but nobody's going to be biting the bullet for that so far. Valtex across the middle. It's Johnny kind of taking this one over the top from him, and just like that, Z-Ball is actually out to take an offensive opportunity now, and that almost was him taking it everything after Valtex and a little bit of a misplay on there, gotta say.
Yeah, Valtex got a little bit too far forward, and Marist right now, I feel like their game right now is all about those single player transitions. Just get it one player to get that ball out of the zone, and then, you know, once that ball is into the blue half, essentially like a hockey style, go on the forecheck, figure it out from there. But San Jose State right now, their defense has been on point. I mean, even these passing plays coming through, I feel like players like It's Johnny are really the key for San Jose State. If It's Johnny and Didi, they get going, this is a hard team to stop.
Yes, sir. Again, you talked about that duo earlier. Valtex is 100% there, but offensively and the coordination therein, DD and It's Johnny has simply been doing this for a long time together as well. So, again, now that Valtex is not showing up here, looking at the numbers right now, Valtex is just outside the highest scoring at 2 shots on with an assist and a save now for Valtex. Now going to have the highest score. Again, showing up every way, shape, and form. Love to see it. Valtex back to DD. DD over the top. DD across from the side. Offensive partner there. And It's Johnny kind of taking out the defender role right there for a second, but not going to really last as DD, the rest of San Jose, purchasing themselves a little bit of time defensively. We reached past halftime about 20 seconds ago here, Soy, and this is still anybody's game.
Yeah, it's still very close. This one's going to go across, and that's a good touch from It's Johnny. I mean, it looked like he was about to own goal, but just the redirect off the hood of his car. And look at them quickly in transition, and Marist a little bit shaky here on defense as Valtex has a chance, but Cypher diving across makes the save.
Yeah, Marist has not bitten the bullet for it yet. I can almost guarantee that she will if you keep taking these balls across the front like Z-Ball has shown. These kind of, not necessarily shown a penchant for, not like a preference, but he'll definitely do it in a clutch, in the kind of like tight, like really hotly contested situation, even when there's another opportunity there. Again, might be looking at that to see some more scores to the other side. Take it away across the middle. DD trying to get this up. Z-Ball redirects a little bit over to the corner, so less so in the middle. That's a huge takeaway. DD now stretching to get to this one. We're at half pitch here, Soy.
With a minute remaining, I mean, ooh, here's actually a bump coming through, and I want to note that it feels like the offense of San Jose State right now, it seems to, it's still trying to find its way. There have been a lot of passing plays, but it hasn't led to a whole ton of opportunities. Only 4 shots on goal through the majority of this game so far. I mean, they have scored on 2 of them, but those passing plays, they're just a little off. It's right idea, wrong execution. But that being said, I mean, they've kept Marist on the back foot for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, I said it in regards to a different team earlier about cleaning up the edges. We were also at that point kind of not necessarily complaining, but pointing out the negative effects that some of these lack of pass plays came through. Now it's honestly and kind of the opposite. I gotta say, Soy, the passes are almost too prevalent here, and players are not taking shots up across the middle, and so rotated teammates are not there when you're trying to string your second shot attempt or your second shot attempt from your first. Gotta say it as it is. Marist, that's what I said. Marist University now down by 1. We touch ball, and that's going to be it. San Jose taking a very close game number 1 here, Soy.
Yeah, and I feel like this is a battle of two very different play styles. I feel like for the San Jose State side, you've got all these passing plays, right? And they're like you said, it's almost like too many touches on the ball. They're not taking enough shots. But for Marist, I feel like it's a lot of solo plays to try and get through the middle of the field. A lot of, one-on-one style type of action. That's where they're finding their chances. But again, I mean, if you look at the total shots, I mean, this is a very contradicting or contrasted game from the first set that we saw.
Yeah, very contrasting, very contradictory, I think, is the word you were kind of stretching there for a second. And honestly, I'm not really against that one, because what we're looking at is, like, literally the only score that was gotten from Marist came off the back of a player that wasn't even attributed with a shot attempt. Only his teammates there were even attributed with a shot attempt. End of the day, and again, anybody who plays this game knows it can be kind of wonky with how to award stuff, especially like the difference between a save and an epic save. Sometimes it's very, very clear emblem-wise, you'll get that little halo across the top of an epic save, so you can kind of tell on screen. But again, how that's awarded, and especially given that points are just kind of like aesthetic, when like in player points there, just kind of like aesthetic. Yes, it is something that allows us as casters to try and draw a different narrative as we come through and kind of use those numbers to our advantage when we're trying to spin this web for you guys. But at the end of the day, given that it's kind of wonky in how it's awarded, it's not really something that you can pour all of your attention into.
Yeah, no, I agree, and the other portion of this that I think is interesting is that we talked about how many passing plays that San Jose State had, but it also put Marist on the back foot for so long. I mean, to harp on that point of time of possession, I mean, how long did San Jose State have the ball for in that game? Marist barely had any shots on goal. I mean, I think their best opportunity was a solo dribble up the middle where he couldn't juke the last man. And all those passing plays, just all that time of possession just got racked up time and time again. And despite the lack of shots, they still won at the end of the day.
Nope, not that one. I want to go spectator. There you go. Whew. You do not want FBI tugboat on your team, guys. I promise you. No matter if you're Marist, no matter if you're... Wait, you have to make another one because of that? Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, we're going to continue to vamp here a little bit, guys. That's called filling time here in the business. Any huge Rocket League stuffs to be talked about here recently? Any big news? Anything else you want to bring up here, Soy?
No, I mean, this is an important game for both of these teams for a few reasons, right? I mean, we already harped on the point that Marist is still searching for that first win of the split. But I mean, in a conference like the MAC, one win or one loss for the teams at the top, it can really make the difference. Even on the side of San Jose State, they're on that Western Conference where, they're playing against the UTAs and Colorados that have had fantastic splits. And I mean, they've had their shots. It's a matter of can they, continue to play well and keep up that pace. And for the most part, San Jose State's been pretty good about knocking off teams like Marist who have struggled in this split. But when, come tournament time, right? We're in the back stretch of the season. When the tournament rolls around, they've only got a few weeks till that happens. Can they get themselves ready to face off against the big guns of this league?
Yeah, that really is going to be the the tester of the team tester. Will you be able to be kind of that giant slayer, that David versus Goliath situation? Because there's a very clear divide, but every conference, right? MAC, Big East, West. While we're kind of buying a little bit of time here, I'm going to go ahead and bring up some of these stats and kind of try and spin that a little bit of a web for you guys. So, looking at our Rocket League standings, University of Delaware, Blue Hens up at top. No one has been able to unpin them so far. Only one loss, I do believe that was to UTA. Another beast from the East, the RIT squad, 11-2. Doing very, very similar numbers, especially maps-wise. 2 extra on top of the third place, the best from the West. I love the rhyming and alliteration. I'm going to kill it and run to the ground until I cannot no more, so 11-2 for them, and their map win-loss is 34 on top, so just 2 shy from the 36 for RIT. End of the day, this is such a small differential. You might as well have 3 different teams tied for first.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we said, those 1 or 2 losses that those top 3 have really taken, they're to each other. I believe RIT is only, ranked second in the EGF because they've beaten UTA. That's one of UTA's losses. Delaware, their losses to UTA. UTA, I mean, there have been a couple of dark horses in this league as well.
That like paper, scissors, rock here, Soy. Like, it seems like that's kind of the same that you be looking at across these top 3 teams, really. Like,
honestly, and even if you look at the Big East is really not far behind those 3, only a game or 2 separated from that. And the Big East is rock paper scissors. You got Seton Hall up there, Xavier, Butler, and we saw DePaul was even close by as well. And that's where San Jose State kind of find themselves. They find themselves in that pack of dark horses, really looking to take the next step.
Yeah, seriously, guys, I cannot elaborate on what Soy said enough. Positions, 4 through 9. 4 through 8. So 5 teams in the top 10 are all right there in that middle. Your Big East squads coming through. All of them 10's wins except for DePaul, who has 9. DePaul has 10 because of their win previously. University of Connecticut, not far away from them at all. Seriously, your Big East conference is arguably one of them. Okay, my God, I thought Shane was going to let that bounce in. Your Big East conference is arguably your most competitive, given that East-wise, you have Delaware and RIT all the way at the top right there. Nothing for a while. We'll talk more about standings later, though, Soy.
Yeah, I mean, as we get into game number 2 here, already a little bit of pressure applied by San Jose State, and that's something I'm kind of looking for here. Game number 1 felt very slow, but I feel like that's where Marist can kind of thrive. If they can up their pace, they had some good opportunities, but they couldn't find a way to score. San Jose State, they got to pressure the net more. Stop with all these excessive touches on the ball and just drive that ball on the net. Test this Red Fox defense. That's where they can find success. Wow,
some pinball play there towards the end. DD is Cypher right there. Cypher has the perfect positioning, but you are 100% right. So it's some apt analysis coming through from the man, the co-caster. At the end of the day, what you need to do, like, there's just, again, cleaning up the edges, but also just like switching your game plan a little bit, because those passes are nothing without shots. That's what you were getting at. And like, just in a more succinct way, that's what I'm trying to get at as well, because again, as passes are flashy, it shows that you're a well-cohesive team that communicate and get this ball like passed where you want to. You can really pass this rock around. Doesn't matter if you can't score after that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like the kind of fast-paced play. We're starting to see Marist kind of up the pace. Here's a chance for Z-Ball, but it's Johnny again making the save, and Cypher diving in, the third man committing to the play. I love to see it, but not able to score on that play.
Yep, definitely not going to happen so easily. Again, we've been speaking about attempts versus successes all day long, and Z-Ball is going to be thanked by his teammate right there after a very clear and nearly embarrassing whiff. Up to the top, DD taking this one out. DD, if he's got plenty of boost, that might be it, but Cypher says no go, spit some hot bars in his face. Cypher across the side again. Valtex almost clipping this one and getting it up to the middle. Now, okay, sorry. For a second, I thought Shane, I think, actually switched his tag from whatever it was to 203, and I think that's why I thought there might have been a new. Oh, excuse me. Thought there might have been a new player right there, but DD all day.
I mean, 2 huge saves there for the side of San Jose State, and maybe a goal here, but the team pinch to clear the ball. That's actually going to reset DD here. He's going to have to backtrack and use a lot of the boost to make this play, and now San Jose State in a little bit of trouble.
A little bit of trouble, maybe a little bit of underestimation. Yes, it is. Cypher getting this one in after, I mean, again, Cypher gets a perfect clip on this. If you're Valtex on the other side, you have to go for this no matter what. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to go in. You have to get the play on it, even if it's your own, even if it's a technical own goal. Doesn't matter. You still played it.
Yeah, that was a good job by Marist, and especially if you're looking at the way this game has kind of paced itself out, to get that first goal is going to be massive. And Shane nearly, I think he ran out of boost. He might have had another touch on that ball if he had anything left in the tank. That could have been super dangerous. But regardless, Marist going to keep the pressure on here. Actually, no, able to get this one out. And that's something that you'll note as the series kind of goes on. San Jose State, their ability to clear the ball, it's very much so just these booming clears, you know, just put as much power as you can behind the ball. We'll go in and forecheck later. And it feels like that's the case for both of these teams as that aerial pass just off Marist. We've also seen them kind of go for a couple of these passing plays, but their passing plays are just off as there's a huge dunk, but it's Johnny going to be able to make the save and get the clear.
Yeah, so if this was baseball, Soy, we'd be seeing broken bats and broken balls completely unsheathed all over the place after some of these like clears. Like you said, they are attempted home runs all day long, and D-ball comes out of absolutely nowhere. Maybe I just didn't see him based on his orange character model and kind of the background right there. Cypher! Not gonna happen! Again! It's Johnny and the rest of the San Jose State University. This defense is just absolutely incredible. The blue wall showing up right here, not letting anything in. You shall not pass.
I don't know how that play didn't result in a goal, and this one might be as well, but it's Johnny going to be able to get up to that play. On that last sequence, he got a bump on the last man back, and Cypher just didn't have enough boost to make that play, and now they're working on borrowed time here.
Yeah, a new lease on life. We try to be purchased soon. Bounce action, not going to be enough. Nobody there. Marist takes game number 2 as close as you can get it. 1-0 after a 2-1 victory, game number 1. We said this was going to be close. This going down to a score difference of literally 1 every single time so far. Huge stuff. Game 3 coming up here in just a second.
Yeah, this was a good game. I mean, Marist, as we said, they kind of were able to up that pace a bit more, really test that San Jose defense, and that's where they found success, right? Going back to that time of possession statistic, Marist had the ball a whole lot more, and they were able to challenge it. I mean, 2 shots apiece for every single player. Yep. Everyone was playing well. And despite those passing plays that they had just being slightly off here or there, they were still able to do well.
Absolutely. We're going to go to a very, very short break and let these players kind of get together, figure out, communicate what they want to do and how they want to take this game number 3. We'll be back with you guys in about 60 seconds. And we are back. We tell the truth over here at EGFC. FBI Tugboat, my man Soy Sauce. Got Bill down there producing away for us. And we got possibly, the last game coming in for your San Jose State University and Marist College squads. This has been a very, very close matchup. 2-1 for the side of San Jose in game number 1. Wait, hang on, did I have this right? 0-1 for San Jose State in the first one, and then Red Fox is striking back?
Is it's 1-1 in the set, and so
yes.
we'll have to see who can take the edge here in game number 3. And I kind of was talking about this earlier. It felt like when Marist had possession, they finally were able to up the pace. So I feel like control of the ball here is going to be really important. We talked about how many booming clears we saw from both sides, and it left a couple opportunities, but control of the ball here, control of the pace of the game is going to matter a whole lot, as right now San Jose State all over it.
Yeah, speaking of control, maintaining momentum of pacing and whatnot, so far San Jose has been doing a really good job of that. 45 seconds in, nobody scored so far, but this has mostly been blue on offense.
Yeah, right now, I mean, the San Jose State offense, we have seen it, show up in big ways before. But the problem is right now, just the Marist defense, its rotation is solid. It's not getting interrupted in any way, shape, or form. So I would not be surprised to start seeing demos like that come through.
That was just an abandoning of a ball from the defensive player. Maybe you saw something I did not. We only get so many angles here, of course. Why is this? There we go. Director cam can be a little bit wonky sometimes. 3 minutes 30 left on this clock. Plenty of time. No scores quite so far. No scores on the boards. Shane trying to pick this one up. Got the blacked out. What is this car model again? I can't ever remember the car models. I'm so bad about remembering the car models. Ooh. Oh my goodness! Doesn't matter. Shane remembers that and how to score and more. Fantastic stuff. Talking about him, he knew it, but had to prove that he knows exactly what he's talking about on stream.
And that's just an unfortunate redirect. I mean, Shane with the shot down from the ceiling, and I think that was Valtech just trying to catch that ball.
Oh, I completely missed that. I thought that was a perfect pass on a teammate. If that was utilizing the hitboxes of the opponent's cars down there to get this bounced in, that's gotta say it's a little bit disrespectful at a certain point, right?
I mean, I just think Valtech is just trying to catch that ball and just mistouches it, and it goes directly on goal. It nearly got saved too, but making right back maybe was Didi. Could not get that shot on net. Cypher with a great save.
Yeah, little rainmaker here right there. That's about as impressive as you get. Doesn't matter. Again, Soy, always about the second touch more so than the first, and the third touch more so than that.
And this all starts off a double commit as well. I don't know if you caught that right off the backboard. 2 players sweep across trying to get that ball out. Only one of them gets the touch. The third man not able to get back in time, and it's Johnny dunking home the first goal of game number 3 for San Jose State.
Yes, sir. Could not have come at a better time. About halftime now. Now, Soy Sauce, right now, we're looking at only 6 scores across 2.5 games, we'll call it now at halftime. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's one more finger than I have on my right or my left hand. As I say that, Z-Ball making that a non-issue. Up to 8 now as we're looking at the highest scoring game between these two so far. 2-1 is the scoreline. That one going the way of San Jose in game number 1. But now we're halfway through game number 3. Even I can do that math, Soy.
And I mean, this is all courtesy of the pace of play, right? Think back to game number 1, how slow it was and how little, shots there are. We're halfway through, and both of these teams had their shot totals from game number 1.
Yeah, I think that you can boil this down to both teams being more comfortable playing fast, Soy.
And I think, yes, and I think it's also part kind of adapting to the game flow, right? You kind of get a read on how your opponent wants to play the game, and then you adjust as the series goes on. And that's something we've seen both of these teams in the past have success with. The longer the series goes, the more they can adapt to the pace of the play. And San Jose State right now, I feel like they... Ooh, that actually was a good demo to kind of relieve some pressure and Cypher the other way. San Jose State is no stranger to game number 5, and Marist, on the other hand, also making some good adjustments.
Okay, real quick, gotta point it out before we get too far away from it. I talk all the time about demos not being worth it. This was a breakaway play. There was no reason to, really, it might have been a mistake. I wasn't watching it. We weren't having it on cam. But Didi gets demolished, and then after a breakaway, he is spawning on his own side of the map. That allows for it was impossible otherwise. If Didi is anywhere near the position that he was in when he got demolished in, but didn't get demolished, and he doesn't respawn back over there 2.5 seconds later or whatever, there's no opportunity for that player to have blocked away this one. Again, it doesn't happen very often, folks. But when it does, it'll always happen in the higher. When it does happen, it'll happen in higher level Rocket League play, and it'll be something like that. A player that is gifted positioning in the 34 boost once they come back off the back of a horrifying takeaway offensively that will not allow that they simply wouldn't have been able to get otherwise. Sorry, spoke way too long on that point. Getting this one out. DD towards the middle. Go ahead, Soy.
No, you're absolutely right though, and I think those demos have actually. They haven't really led to too much, but that was the first situation where it really did, and I think that's just part of the faster pace of play, right? We talked. I've harped on it a lot, but it's because it's leading to a whole lot more chances. And speaking of, he got it around 1, but Shane able to get back in time here as we reach 10 seconds left.
Yep, 10 seconds left. As long as this ball is kept aloft, we'll remain in our kind of weird sudden death situations. That's grounded out, and Marist now striking back 2-1. We said it was high. It was high scoring about halfway through, and then Soy, we don't see anything scores wise. Not for lack of trying, but we see no actual points on the board put on in 2 minutes and 40 seconds or so.
Something along those lines. Yeah, I lost my math there, but I mean, regardless,
these numbers are. My God. Wait, not ping though. Look at that. Actually, that's kind of interesting, right? You see, a total of 7 shots on board for San Jose, 4 for Marist, so like decently similar. The saves pretty similar as well, 4-3, 1 assist versus 0, whatever, 2 scores versus 1. But unfortunately, it's kind of interesting. It's not something you get to say very frequently. The biggest difference numbers wise here is the ping.
Yeah,
Which obviously changes, but yeah.
Well, yes, but I do want to give credit where credit's due. Marist has really shown up here in games number 1 and 2. I mean, after San Jose State felt like they had their foot on the gas after game number 1, it has been a complete turnaround, and I have to give credit to the defense specifically, because if they're getting outshot like this, San Jose State's offense is an offense we have seen explode at times. DD It's Johnny. These guys have had fantastic days, but the fact that despite all that, Marist defense is holding up with not a whole ton of saves. 4 is still a decent number, but at the end of the day, it's getting the job done.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, these teams will take it by a score difference of 1 if it's necessary. That has been the situation we've seen literally every single game so far. It's a nail biter. It's a bad, it's very, very nerve wracking, even as a commentator. But what I have seen, throwing stuff over here. What I have seen is that we've not seen any overtime. Like not one single second of actual formalized line back up, go back at the 50-50 overtime.
Yeah, and I'm kind of surprised too, because it's a one goal difference, right? Every single time, it's how close these teams are matching up, and so I'm kind of curious to see what the adaptation is here in game number 4, because I mean, we talked about it. Both of these teams, they're no strangers to longer sets, to sets that can go the distance. Despite, a lot of these sets being sweeps, it feels like every game is still very close. It's just 1 or 2 mistakes that is really all it takes for, Marist or San Jose State to take the edge.
Yeah, so not 100% sure what the joke is here between these players. I don't know. We saw players join no fewer than 200 times each there, just kind of going back and forth. But okay, I guess the meme is over. Now we're being serious. Now we're actually playing Collegiate Rocket League.
Well, we'll have to see. I mean, off the start, you saw a quick save by Z-Ball. And, I mean, once again, that's going to be the storyline here, I think, of game number 4, is how long can this Red Fox's defense kind of stand up to San Jose State? Because if they can keep themselves in the game long enough, they've proven that they can score on just a few chances.
Yeah, I mean, look, a score difference of 1 every single time. There's no reason to believe anything different is going to happen here after that's been clearly established as the theme. Pacing here is a game that it has no more scores than 3, no fewer than 1, obviously, but always goes down to the end even without the super sudden death overtime situation.
Well, that was nearly a chance through the air there, and I feel like already you're kind of seeing a little bit of a patience displayed on both sides. I feel like there's a little bit of hesitation, not really wanting to make a mistake. But that being said, double commit is going to leave this in danger territory. Marist is going to get possession here for a quick shot, but it's Johnny diving across to make the save.
3 minutes, and that's 24 seconds. Yeah, you were speaking earlier about how Johnny's kind of showed up on defensive plays and opportunities and whatnot. A double up, almost a triple up there from Marist. Again, man, this is a San Jose State University squad that simply has their players in line, like much closer and more cohesive and connected. Then that would have been a score, right? You see a double up top, almost a triple up, and the third player barely gets down to the bottom. That's simple math, right, Soy?
Yeah, and I think part of it is like we've seen these players wake up on offense before. The problem is positioning. But speaking of Valtech trying to sneak that one in the corner, and I think finally we're starting to see the San Jose State team, realize that this Marist defense is kind of backed up into their own end as that shot's going to find its way in.
Go. Designated driver taking that one all the way in. Halftime and 6 seconds into it, excuse me. And really, both sides, you probably are just happy at this point that it's not 0-0, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And you're at the halfway point of the game, and after a couple of back and forths to finally break through. We talked about, getting an early advantage, but Shane answering right back.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. Not going to have an advantage right here for very long at all. 16 seconds means this one is also only 3 seconds shy of the fastest score we've seen on stream tonight.
Yeah, and I'm kind of curious to see now, because, we talked about it, adaptations mid-set. That's where you see a lot of teams thrive.
Yep.
And Marist, with the flick over top, Shane had a chance, but I think he got bumped, and that put way too much power on the shot. Now this one will get chipped over top, and that's an awkward play for Z-Ball, and this Marist defense that had played so fine during the first couple matches feels a little out of their, out of communication here. It feels a little disoriented.
I'm with it. Taking it to the numbers here for a second, okay, so 4 shots attempted for the Marist College squad. San Jose's barely been able to put up 2 so far. Do have a couple saves. Got themselves an assist as well. The goal that did come through for DD was not a solo act, but that one, a little bit closer to one. Shane getting stuff done here for Marist.
And this all comes off the huge clear from Cypher as Shane, look at the control, right? That first touch on the ball wasn't that great, but immediately he's able to control his car, get it over, and then get that ball back onto the hood and just drive that ball straight in. And Marist, all of a sudden, 2 goals answered back, and San Jose State kind of at a loss for words here.
Hey, we wouldn't be good commentators if that was the case, right, Soy? 80 seconds into this one. So plenty of words for both of these squads, and the guillotine almost comes through. It's Johnny, I believe, the complete severing of the head on that one. Some people like to call it the waterfall, but I think guillotine is way more dramatic.
Oh, speaking of dramatic, this is too close to the net. That is way too close for comfort if you're a San Jose State fan, but they'll be able to clear this ball out.
I am amazed by how much time this ball spins up close and personal, while you see not 1, not 2, but 3 defensive players all not having heart attacks. It's so nerve-wracking. I've been in this situation before. Do not like 35 seconds. Demo coming through. It's Johnny taking one off to the corner. Very slow play. Big clear there for the Marist College.
And he had to slow play it too. He was out of boost. He was out of resources, and now this could be in transitions. Johnny on the air dribble. He's got it too. Ooh. What a read by It's Johnny.
Map 4 now. We're staring on the barrel of an actual formal overtime situation, Soy. We've been denied it so far. Not going to happen all the way through 4 maps. It seems. Obviously, one team takes an advantage here. Push it all the way to the end. We'll have our formal sudden death with the time not eclipsing until the ball just touches the ground or gets scored. But that's not where we're at right now. What's where we'll be in about 12 seconds. As long as that theme continues to ring true. 7 now, half pitch. Bounce action, Valtex to the side. Now there's going to be, this is going to be the last opportunity here. Just want to ground this out. No, Shane actually, okay. So it kind of seemed like a difference in opinions there from the Marist College as well. Maybe that's kind of indicative to a larger theme here. Marist College may not be like so hot in the comms right now, my man.
I mean, we saw this defense kind of hesitate a couple times, go for a couple double commits here and there, and I feel like it's just a vote of confidence, right? It's maybe a half second late on the call of do you have it or not. And speaking of the air dribbles right now from San Jose State are putting a lot of pressure on this Marist defense, but the defense holding up for now. Oh wait, Didi on the bump. Cypher has a dive at this, and it's an own goal.
My goodness. Man, oh man, we gotta watch this one again, just kind of give it a little bit of, oh man. So hey, is that not kind of the what karma for breaking the rule 1 and even in goal?
I was about to say that is
right? Gotta call it.
That is the best example of instant karma for breaking rule 1 I've ever seen. That was, I mean, what do you do there if you're Cypher, right?
It wasn't Marist like calling out that he was going to break it either. It wasn't even going to like own up to his sins before he commits them. He comes out, sends it directly, literally right in the front, like the front, hood of his teammate right there for an own goal. Instant karma. That's what we call that one.
You couldn't see it, but the second he flipped and Shane puts it into his own net, my jaw dropped. I was in shock. That was something else. But I mean, if you're San Jose State, you'll take it because that was a scary overtime. I mean, they were on offense during overtime, right? But the fact that they had to come back, answer 2 unanswered goals to tie that game back up, and then find a third. I mean, going into game number 5. I'm still not feeling very confident, despite how Marist defense has kind of let up a few chances here or there. It felt like it's taken a lot for San Jose State to really, get this offense going.
No, I hear you. And after a blow like that, I think that the momentum here might be affected one way or another. I think that's a positive way to put that one. We'll be seeing, though, basically a one-and-done sudden death 5 minutes of it. As we're reaching now down here, no best of 5s, and we're not going to see a tie. I can guarantee you that one here, so it's not possible in the great esport of Rocket League.
We'll have to see. I mean, this has been such a close series. Every single game coming down to the wire being a 1-goal differential. That just tells you, how compact and how close this league really is. We talked about it just in terms of the standings, too. These teams are, 2 games away from each other, and it's this close. It's just one mistake is all these players really need to get the edge.
Absolutely. Like, seriously, you said it best there, my friend. We're seeing that. Sing no more true than right now in a 8-5 squad in the San Jose Spartans taking on the Marist Red Foxes, who are 6-6 and coming into this without a win in the spring split. They'll be looking at the first one here. Can basically taste it. It's so close, Soy.
We'll have to see, but right now this is an open net for Ince. Johnny's gonna be able to slot it through. What a great shot placement. Yeah, it really was. This is a little bit slower, very early, so that's all that really matters, right? As long as you can get it in, doesn't matter how it happens, when it happens, where it happens, or even how fast it happens. It's all that matters, points on boards. 1-0 now, the smallest lead possible. No lead indeed in Rocket League. No, Johnny! Okay, I was going to say, you're a bad man. You're just a disrespectful young man right there. That was a tough save, too, to react to that shot. And I also kind of want to point out, this is the trend that we've seen throughout the series. San Jose State, they've been able to get a lot of pressure early, put up a goal on the board, and it's been Marist who's been able to react. But it's Johnny saying no chance today. What a dunk.
It's Johnny. 2 scores now at 420. The gamer number, right? As it's Johnny takes... There's actually... Well, we can break this down even a little bit more. I think that was Shane. Yeah, the Shane down bottom, Cypher up top. And this is literally just like playing that perfect slot right across the top when you're... when you're coming into this goal. He gets it right between the two of them. Nothing you can do on the other side.
And the margin for error, too, right? There's not a whole lot of room to really take that shot. The defenders are right on you, and just to get up to that ball so fast. Speaking of, Valtex immediately punching that ball forward, and the double commit again. This is an awkward play for the Marist defense.
Yes. Awkward plays is where they've kind of lived, though. Marist College, they'll get it any way they can, but that's DD. Oh, man, low and slow, bounce and roller to the middle, and that is the fastest we've seen either team get to 3. Actually, yeah, we haven't seen a team get to 3 scores in regular time so far, Soy. That only happened last game. That only happened third goal-wise in overtime.
Yeah, I mean, the San Jose State seemed to have finally, caught on to a couple of these mistakes. They've upped the pace of the game once more, and it's up to the Red Foxes to find a second gear here, as that pass down mid was fantastic, but Z-Ball read it. But already, I mean, Didi answering the play, and can Marist really find some offensive possession? They have not been able to do so for the first minute and a half.
That's fair. That's fair, Soy. It might be harsh, but if it's, we're weathermen reporting the news here, be doing ourselves, or viewers, teams, and everything in between a disservice if we did not point out simply what we see. Johnny, middled. Shane, huge pop play out. Cornered. This is going to be landing decently in the middle as well, and there's not a Marist College University, or Marist College member to be seen anywhere, honestly. That's gonna be kind of aggravating at a certain point, especially if you're the first man up, like kind of looking for your teammates' cohesion and kind of coordination there to get something else done. Doesn't matter though when you have takeaways like this though.
Well, that was a great read by Didi. I mean, Z-Ball, I believe it was, came flying in to try and get that dunk, and Didi just slots it underneath him and uses the lift of his car. That's a great shot, but Valtex makes the save, and quickly in transition is San Jose State.
That was very, very quickly in transition. And that's Didi almost connecting there at the end to put up not their first, not their second, but their third. Marist is now looking at halftime. Again, whatever the score is at halftime can go the other way given there's the same chronological amount on either side. Z-Ball, if he had to hit his brakes right there, he would have clipped this left side and then not had enough boost to get up and to that one, and that would have been the worst possible play to put, that would have been the worst way to get to the fourth goal for your teammate, or to your opponents. That is pretty bad, though, too.
The demo was everything they needed. It's Johnny, comes through here, gets that demo, and Shane backflips, and Didi drops it right where he used to be.
Right in the breadbasket right there, man. Easy peasy. That's just methodical at that point, so you could literally watch these comms just strike out between these two players as that's coming up. The demo wasn't necessarily easy, but the play there was as simple as 1+1.
And all of a sudden, I mean, we talked about it too. This Marist defense had held on for so long, but now here in game number 5, I mean, San Jose State has just found another gear finally. These passing plays, it's not one too many touches, it's one touch and on net, and all of a sudden the scoreboard says it all.
Yeah, speaking of, I want to investigate some of these numbers and get the opinion here. 8 shots total attempted for San Jose. 4 of those have made in 50%. 2 from Johnny, 2 from Didi. Only 3 from the side of Marist. So my question to you, dear Soy, oh my God, that is just oppressive. Maybe that's what it is. What is going on here for the San Jose State University Spartans? What is it that changed from Game 4 to Game 5 now that is allowing them to go on the highest run-up so far?
I think it's their aggression, because we talked about the miscues that Marist has had on defense, a couple of double commits here and there. I think they finally started to figure it out, finally started to figure out their rotation and just say, hey, we can press this a bit more. We can commit that third man a bit more if they're not going to be able to boom this over the top of us because they're committing 2 people. And that's what's allowed them to just keep this pressure on. And I feel like the shot total really says it all, right? Not even just the shot percentage, but just in general, the quality versus quantity. Marist doesn't even have either right now.
Yeah, exactly. Always, obviously, better to have quality over quantity. In Rocket League, quantity equals I just had a lot of time of possession. That's going to be the first one, though. So Z-Ball and the rest of the Marist College squad still showing a little bit of life. Not going to go so quietly into this night, Soy. But at the end of the day, what San Jose State is doing, I believe, partially what is boiled from your statement, is that they're just putting a lot of pressure on the Marist College squad. They're really just shaking this tree and seeing what falls out. So far, what's fallen out is not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5. And again, the highest score total from either team so far. as we look at 15 seconds in.
Yeah, and I feel like at the end of the day, committing that third man on offense, right? Because sometimes you just want to be able to pull back, reset. You don't want to give anything up over the top, which is where Marist found their goal this game. But at the end of the day, committing that third man was really the difference. It allowed that pressure to be sustained for so long. And San Jose State, I mean, we talked about adaptation throughout a set. That was the adaptation that gave them the edge here in game number 5.
Exactly. Another huge edge is San Jose putting up 11, hitting double digits on the shot attempts here. Again, no extra time either. This was only 5 clean minutes of actual Rocket League gameplay. Mirror that with only 4 shot attempts from Marist. Yes, one of them went in, meaning that is a 20% decent quality-wise on that one. We're talking about quantity versus quality, but that is also indicative of just a huge deficit when you come and talk about time of possession wise. 5 saves as well versus 3 for San Jose, going back kind of the same sort of idea. So much more time from San Jose was spent on offense once they were able to start this off with a huge foot forward and a lot of speeding ahead and kind of setting that pace to a Marist College squad that was really not finding it so easy to kind of keep up with, honestly. Once they were able to do that, it was just methodical, putting on one after the next after the next. The last 2 scores there came way slower than the first 2.
Yeah, absolutely. And credit where credit's due. I feel like it's Johnny and Didi. That duo we talked about at the beginning of the match, they really ramped it up. But I think at the end of the day, Valtex, despite, not getting MVP, I think his play, he being that third man in the set, him pressing up, allowing that sustained pressure, that he stepped up when the team needed him to step up the most.
I'm with it. Again, it was kind of about pressure in a lot of ways, both sides here. A lot of pressure put on Marist College. Again, shake that tree, see what falls out. Other side, you saw your San Jose Spartans come through when pressure's applied to them and they're forced to play at a much, much faster pace to try and, again, apply that pressure. It really just didn't seem like they were falling down or finding any kind of negative effect from that whatsoever. But as it is, this is a game 4 that it went down. First 3 games marked by some incredibly close play with a score difference of 1 in every single one. And again, correct me if I'm wrong, but that was not across the first 4 games. I was looking at game number 4. Game number 4, the marker that I have here, that's the only one that went over in overtime. That's the only one of all of these across 4 different games that were decided by 1 that actually went down into overtime.
Yeah, that was. And I mean, for every game to be decided by a goal, I think it just shows you, how much of an adaptation it was for game number 5 to be so separate, right? Okay. And it's not like Marist, had it's not like Marist had like a downside, right? Marist clearly throughout the entirety of this set, they were able to respond time and time again. But I think at the end of the day, just San Jose State, they found in a second gear, right? They had their fastball. They've got their curveball ready, and they're ready for the rest of the season.
I'm with it. Yeah, I'll be heading to the pennant here soon or something like that to continue on the baseball theme there. But as it is, like you said, just running through these again, a map 5 situation goes down for the San Jose Spartans at the end. 2-1 their way for game number 1. 0-1 for game number 2 went to Marist, of course. 1-2, that was game number 3, went to Marist as well. 4th game starting here, the only one that went into overtime, 3-2 for the San Jose State University Spartans. Game number 5, a different affair in every way, shape, and form. The highest scoring as well, at a total of 6, with you got your 5 scores coming in from San Jose, mirrored by only 1 from Marist. Again, a completely different game there, number 5. We'll be starting on with Marquette and Manhattan up next. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's next on the docket. Should be a good one.
Absolutely. We'll be back with that action here in just a little bit. No interview this time.